Hello, I hope things are going very well for you. Today and tomorrow we're doing factors and the tasks are so similar. I'm just going to do one video to show you factors for today and tomorrow. Just one video, but for both days. So first, let's talk about what a factor is. Let's say I had a number like 24. Now, factors are numbers that we can multiply together to equal a product. So 24 would be, the factors of 24 would be all of the numbers that we can multiply by to get to 24. So one example would be 3 times 8. 3 times 8 equals 24. So that would mean that 3 and 8 are factors of 24. You can multiply them by another number to get to 24. Another one, though, would be, can you think of another one? 4 and 6. 4 and 6 are also factors of 24 because I can multiply 4 times 6 to get to 24. Other ones would be 2 and 12. I can multiply 2 times 12 to get to 24. And I'm trying to think, are there any other ones? And of course, I can do 1 times 24 to get to 24. And those are my factors of 24. Now 24, it has quite a few factors. There are other numbers that don't have so many factors. The main thing with factors is that you have to be confident. In 4th grade, you've got to be able to find all of the factors. Now I know if I give you some random number like 48, that you could tell me a factor of 48 pretty quick. You could say 6 and 8. But you might not catch 4 and 12 as quick, or 2 and 24. So the thing with factors is that you have to be systematic. You've got to be very systematic to make sure that you've caught all of the factors and there aren't any factors out there that are lurking. Okay? So let me show you how I would do that with 24. And you already know where I'm headed with this. This is the most efficient way, and it's some students have they kind of they just kind of struggle. They don't struggle with it, but they just don't like to do it this way because they think doing it in their head is quicker. Now I'm always in the camp that doing it right once is quicker than doing it wrong once and having to go back and correct it, right? If I can do a problem once and do it right the first time, that's always going to be quicker than having to go back and redo it because I got it wrong. So it pays. It really pays to have attention to detail and be precise. So how I would find the factors of 24 is I'd write 24, and then I list them down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you could, in theory, go on and on and on if the numbers were bigger. But in 4th grade, 1 through 9 will get you wherever you need to go. So first I start with 1. Can 1 go into 24 evenly? Yes, it can. 1 times 24. In fact, every number will have 1 and 24 as a factor. Can 2? Can 2 go into 24? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Yes, it can. 12 times. Can 3? Yeah, 3 can. 3 can 8 times. Can 4? You bet. 4 can 6 times. And then can 5? 5 can't. The closest you can get is 20 and 25. So my next one is 6. Oh, but I've repeated a number. Once you've gotten to where you've repeated a number, you're done, because then we've gotten all these other larger factors on the other side. So once you repeat that number, you're done. So that means the factors, there's 2 ways you can write it. If it asks for you to write factor pairs, then you would write 1 and 24. Normally you could go straight across, but I'm going to go down because it gets cut off right here. 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6. And you can put them in parentheses. If it asks for factor pairs, then you would list them out as their pairs because 1 and 24 pair together. Now, if it's just asking for the factors in a list, then you could just write it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 24. To write it that way, I just went down the one side and then over and up the other side. Okay, but either way works just fine. The nice thing about that is it's very systematic. There's no cloak and dagger guessing. You know for a fact that you have found every single one. Let's try another one. Let's do the 48 example I said earlier. That might be too high. I know I've been cutting the tops off of stuff on some of these other videos. So let's do 48. So I'm going to draw my 48 with my line underneath it. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I'm going to start with 1. Can 1 go into 48? Yes, that one's always going to be a given. So 1 times 48. Okay, the next one is 2. Now, 2 into 48 isn't a basic fact. It's not on our multiplication charts because the highest we go is 2 times 12, which is 24. So that means you either just have to know that 48 is, if it's divisible by 2 or not, or you're going to have to actually long divide it. Don't just guess. Where students get hurt, it's on these 2s and 3s that aren't basic facts. They just say, oh, nope, it can't, and then they move on. But you can't just rely on your multiplication chart because your multiplication chart has a lot of multiples. It doesn't have all of them, though. It just has your basic facts. 2 going into 48 is not a basic fact. So I would divide 2 going into 48. 2 goes into 4, 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4, 0. Bring down my 8. Okay, 2 goes into 8, 4 times. So, is 2 a factor of 48? Yeah. 2 times 24. What about 3? Can 3 go into 48? Well, 3 into 48 isn't a basic fact. The highest we go with 3's on our basic facts is 36. So if it's above whatever multiple times 12, then it's not a basic fact and you're going to have to divide it out to make sure. So here I would do 48 divided by 3. 3 goes into 4, 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3, subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1, bring down. 3 goes into 18, 6 times 3 is 18. Yes, it does. If there's a remainder here, then it doesn't go in evenly. But there's no remainder, so it's 16. Now again, if you like doing like a lot of steps in an order, then this algorithm is probably for you. But I could have just as easily have done the 4 square method. Okay, I'm always going to use multiples of 3, right? Remember doing that earlier in the week? So I'm always going to use multiples of 10, sorry. So this would be 30. 3 goes into 30 10 times, and that would be 18. 3 goes into 8, 6. 10 plus 8 is 16. That could be a real quick way of doing it too. Do you see kind of once after, this one just has a lot of like baby steps, but the steps are always boom, 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 boom. This one you have to think a little bit more flexibly, but it can actually be a little bit quicker if you're good. So anyway, 3 times 16. Next, can 4 go into 48? Yeah, it can, 12 times. That is a basic fact. I don't have to, that one's already in my head, I already know it. Can 5 go into 48? It can't go into it evenly. The closest you can get is 45 and 50. Can 6 go into 48? Yeah, it can. 6 times 8 is 48. Can 7? Nope. The closest you can get is 49 and 42. And then can 8? Yeah, 8 can. But I've already done that one, so we're done. 8 times 6, but I already had the 6 over here. Once you repeat a number, you're done. Or I could say I already repeat the number there, 8, so we're done. Just because 6 times 8 is the same thing as 8 times 6. So we could go through and keep listing it, but we would just come up with those ones, but flipped over. So that means the factors of 48 are 1 and 48, 2 and 24, 3 and 16, 4 and 12, and then 6 and 8. And those are your factors of 48. Let's try 2 more. Let's say we had a number like, I don't know, let's do an easy one. 31. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can 1 go into 31? Yep, 1 time. Can 2? That one I should know right off the top of my head because 31 is an odd number. Remember, numbers that end with the digits 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 are odd, and there's not a single odd number that's ever been created that's divisible by 2. So 31 is odd, so I know that it can't be divisible by 2. Can it be divisible by 3? Well, I know my 3 times tables, and I know that 3 goes into 30, and 3 goes into 33, so it can't go into 31. What about 4? The closest I can get for 4 is 28 and 32. 5? Nope. 30 and 35 is as close as I can get. 6? Nope. 30 and 36 is as close as I can get. 7? Can't do that either. 28 and 35 is the closest I can get. And then 8 would be 24 and 32. 9 would be, 27 and 36. And then 10 is 30 and 40. So I went through the list and I ruled out every single one. So the only factors are 1 and 31, which means that it is a prime number. Prime numbers only have 2 factors, 1 and the number. That's what makes them prime. If it's not a prime number, then it's composite. Composite means that it has more than 2 factors. All right, let's do one more big one, and then we'll call it. Let's say we had 72. We wanted to find the factors for those. So I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can 1 go into 72? Yes, 72 times. Now 72 is an even number, so I know it's divisible by 2, but I have to go and divide it to see how many times. So 72 divide by 2. 2 goes into 7 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. Bring down the 2. And then 2 goes into 12 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. Yep. So 2 times 36. Now, if we wanted to break that up the other way, the box method, I could have it be 2, and then a group of 10 would be 20. Another group of 10 would be 40. Another multiple of 10 would be 60. And then another one would be 12. So then that would be 2 goes into 12 6 times. So I just did 3 groups of 20 and then 12. So either way you get 36. Just kind of a neat little trick if you want to see this other way. 3 going into 72. Well, let's divide 72 divided by 3. It's much bigger than my basic facts. 3 only goes up to 36 for my basic facts. So 3 goes into 7 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. I bring down the 2. 3 goes into 12 4 times. And there is no remainder. So because there's no remainder, that means that it does go into it evenly. So again, with that one, I could have done, a 30 and a 12 divided by 3, right? 30, 30, and 12. So that would be 10, 10, and 6 to equal 20. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 24. Either way works. 4 going into 72. That's also not a basic fact. The highest I get with 4s is up to 48. So I'm going to have to divide again. These bigger numbers take time because you've really got to divide them all out. So 4 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. Bring down, subtract, I get 3. Bring down the 2. 4 goes into 32 8 times. So that one equals 18. Just to take a look at with the 4 square method, this number would be 40, which would mean 72 minus 40 is 32. That would be 10 and 8 of 18. So this way you can actually, like, if you're good with some of that mental math, addition, subtraction, multiple zeros, it can feel a bit quicker. You're probably sick of me saying that, but it has its merit. I know it's crazy, but it has its merit. All right, let's do 5 now. Let's finish this problem today, eh? 72. Can 5 go into 72? Well, the biggest multiple of 5 that we know of our basic facts is 60. Now, we could count on 65, 70, 75 and see that it can't go into it evenly, or we can divide it. 5 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 5 is 5. 7 minus 5 is 2. Bring down the 2. 5 goes into 22 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. Bring down the 2. I have a remainder. 14 remainder 2. So is 5 a multiple, is 5 a factor of 72? Nope, it is not. Is 6 a factor of 72? Now we're finally getting into basic factor territory. Yes, 6 times 12 equals 72. Is the 7 going to 72? Nope, the closest we get is 7 and 77, and those are our basic facts of 7 times 10 and 7 times 11. Can 8 go into 72? Let's see, 8 will go into 64, and then, yeah, I guess that would be 72. 8 times 9, and then now I get to my 9, I repeat a number, so I'm done. So the factors of 72 are 1 and 72, 2 and 36, 3 and 24, wow, 4 and 18, 6 and 12, and then 8 and 9. Those are my factors. So the bigger the number, the more you have to divide out, but if it's not a basic fact, do take care that you divide. So thank you so much for watching. Yeah, keep up the good work. Bye-bye.